And hello, and welcome everyone to the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. Matt, this is our 199th episode.
It is, and for some reason my graphic says 198. It shouldn't because I changed it,
Eh,
so I'll have to change it back later.
the real OGs know what episode we're really on. So yeah, next week will be our 200th episode, which makes this... How many years have we been doing this? I want to say, has this been like
Ooh.
3 years?
This particular show, yes. I want to
Yeah,
say
'cause
yes.
Yeah, because it's not like we did a new episode every week, because, sometimes we take time off, sometimes there'd be commentaries. But by and large, we're getting very, very close to 200 episodes. And obviously, we're going to have a big stream to celebrate that. Next week, I was sure to reach out and ask a bunch of our friends in the comic book YouTubeosphere, a lot of whom have actually been on the show before, if they wanted to record us a little video congratulating us. I got like 2 of 5 in right now. I know 3 people are going to make me chase them down, because ain't that always the way on any group project. You had a great idea, Matt, though, for what we should do. Tell everyone your great idea.
I suggested to Joe just before the show started that we take to Cameo and get the cheapest movie star, singer, whoever we can get to give us a message.
Absolutely, and I'm looking on there. I'm on Cameo right now, and I ask everyone else to join me on Cameo, because this is great. Mick Foley, the hardcore legend, we can get him for $75. That's pretty reasonable. Then you got Chumley from Pawn Stars. Really, almost $200? That's a bit much.
It is, and isn't there like an also thing where like they have a thing that's like, oh yeah, you'll get your message in like a month.
Yeah, true. They don't have to do it for you right away. Lisa Loeb for $100 just on her own. Oh yeah, let's get Lisa Loeb to sing us a song. You say you only podcast when you want to. Oh, I love you, Lisa.
We can get Ernie Hudson for $135.
Can we do it like they do on some releases of Ghostbusters, and he's just out of frame to where you can't see him? Hey, Kevin Conroy's only $100, and we like him.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That Ricky Berwick guy is here too. Another YouTuber who got a much nicer table and much nicer welcoming to the last con I was at than I did. Like, literally, I was their first YouTuber one year, then the next year they stuck me by the bathroom, and he got like a big thing in the main con hall, and I'm like, fuck off.
It's Ricky Berwick, of course.
I guess. Ricky Berwick could totally take Joel in a fight, confirmed. What other losers do we got? We could get our own Trump impersonator. Oh shit, Carol Baskins is on her. And she's charging $300. Fuck off.
What? God damn it.
Look, I didn't kill my husband, but I'm definitely congratulating Comic Multiverse on 200 episodes. Oh yeah, there's some real winners here.
Mick Foley.
Yeah. Oh shit, Sammy Guevara's on here. Of course he is. who just came back from sensitivity training this week to beat up Orange Cassidy. Like, he doesn't seem that much more sensitive at all.
We should get like someone no one's ever heard of, like some random like reality star.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Santa's on here for $20. You can get Santa. And Richard Karn from Home Improvement, who's only charging $80.
Shoe Nice is on there, and he's charging $10.
Oh shit! Will he eat something for us? Will he eat a comic for us? I think that's what we need to do, guys. That's what the Patreon money is going towards this month. Something fucking ridiculous. Oh god, this is fun. This needs to be a new segment, Matt. Who's on Cameo now? For episode 201, that's where we got to go with it. But all that aside, how's your week been, Matt?
Pretty good. I've been busy, but I've managed to play a little bit more of Ghost of Tsushima.
Same. I'm a ways into chapter 2 now. Man, there's a lot of game in there, and I'm shocked for how long I've played it. I haven't actually unlocked the Ghost of Tsushima armor yet.
Yeah, neither have I. I just got past. I'm not too far past. You go through that first fort, and then it takes you into, I think it's Act 2, where you go up to the second part of the islands. And I'm just like going through there, finishing off all the tales of Tsushima.
Yeah, which are wonderful. Those are the best missions in the game.
Yeah, my favorite one so far has been like the like little old maid that Jin had as like a kid back at his home estate, and now she's got kind of like Alzheimer's, and she sees him as his father, and it's very, very sad, but also very lovely.
Yeah, and it helps you make poison. That game strikes an interesting tone because obviously, it's inspired by all the classic Kurosawa films and all those other samurai movies we know. So a lot of it feels very familiar. And sometimes I'm like, okay, can we end the cutscene so I can go do another mission now? But every so often, it actually surprises you and actually adds some new wrinkles into it. Like you said, the mother figure with Alzheimer's, that's kind of cool. I like Kenji, the booze guy. He's my favorite.
Yeah, his missions are fun.
Yeah, we need more booze guy in this because, I mean, obviously it's a story about war and occupation and everything, and so much of it is so super dour. I've been playing, the Arrow guy side missions because I basically decided my build for this is I'm just going to build Japanese Green Arrow, which is what I've done. My arrow game is so fucking sick in that now. I slow down time and I just get like 6 headshots and no one even touches me.
Yeah, well, once you get a handle on the bows and everything, you're like invincible. You just pick them up from a distance.
Oh, yeah, and I love you get 2 different types of bows. You get the short bow and the heavy bow, and the heavy bow hits like a goddamn howitzer in this game, knocking dudes off their feet.
Yeah, I love it.
Also, something that I don't think has ever happened in a game before, if an enemy has like an armored helmet and you try and shoot them with a regular arrow, it doesn't work sometimes.
It bounces off. Sometimes they'll even block the arrows.
That's kind of amazing. Also, thank you, Michaelis there, who's been subscribed for 8 months. I just saw that on a 2-month streak. Good job. But yeah, that game is a ton of fun and just beautiful too, because like in the first chapter, I'm like, well, surely I've seen everything this game has to offer. And then you go to the second thing, I'm like, ooh, it's all forests and bamboo groves and everything, and it's all lush and green, and there's, water, and I'm like, oh, nice. And then I've already seen some shit from the third chapter, and there's snow.
Yeah, you can actually see it from like the mountaintops. You're like, ooh, snow. That's cool.
Which is pretty freaking dope that every area and every chapter has its own like unique color scheme.
Yeah.
I'm definitely about it. But yeah, so Ghost of Tsushima is great, and hopefully it'll be the thing that holds us over to November in the early holiday season when all the other big ass games come on down the pipeline.
Yeah, I just pre-ordered the Avengers game.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The other week, and I pre-ordered it just so I could get the beta access because I'm looking forward to the beta because that comes out in August sometime.
Oh shit, I might have to get on that then. I forgot that that's coming out sooner than I thought.
Yeah, just at the start of September.
Yeah, definitely. Tevya already asked us. We will talk about that in the news, Tevya. Don't worry. This is still the pre-show. We will get to it. I definitely promise you. But yeah, I forgot that comes out in August, that's the big one. Shit, I might have to jump on too. Is there still time to pre-order?
Oh yeah. I think you can pre-order up until like the day before. But if you pre-order before August, I think you get the beta access.
Right. Okay. That sounds good. That sounds like something I would probably like. Do they know how long the beta is going to be going on for? Can you do like multiplayer for the beta?
Well, I think there's like. Well, I think you'll be able to. I think like there's the closed beta, which I'll have access to because I got the deluxe edition, right. And then there's the open beta, which is I think for anyone who wants to sign up.
Right. Yeah, well, I might have to look into that one then. Give that a look. I'd love to stream some stuff, but I think I'm at the point now where I really need a freaking capture card. I tried streaming Ghost with my like Frankenstein setup that I have, where I stream from the PlayStation to the computer and then capture screen that. Holy shit, the bitrate. I left it up for anyone who wants to see it on my own channel, but the bitrate, like literally, Jin is all shrunken and fat for no reason. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I did my first Tsushima stream exactly how you did it, and I uploaded it to YouTube, and it wasn't too bad, but it was like, yeah, this could definitely be a lot better, and yeah, I definitely need to get like an Elgato.
I don't know if the game just isn't optimized for it, or if just because, like it's so beautiful, it's just like, no, you can't stream like that.
Too much stuff going on.
Because it is a beautiful fucking game, and I will admit, too, my TV is really old. Like, my TV has none of that, like 4K stuff, none of that high res. Like some of the bigger games now, I'm sure you've noticed, they have a thing when you play it on your TV where it's like, oh, would you like super awesome eye popper mode? And like it doesn't even give me the option. It's like, nah, sorry, dude, your old busted TV won't have it. Yeah, you can't have that. I do need an Elgato, everyone. It's on my Amazon wish list, and I'm definitely going to try and pick that one up. You actually see Elgato has new microphones now, and they look like old-timey radio microphones.
Oh, that's cool.
And like it actually comes with its own built-in levelers and everything else, and I'm like, shit. And it's also smaller than the Yeti and everything. And I'm like, man, I know none of us are going to get to travel at any point in the future, but if I was to travel, I would totally take that one with me.
That's cool.
Because I'm always worried whenever I go on a trip of breaking this motherfucker. And in fact, I don't know if people can see, the on-off switch has broken off on this a very long time ago, so now it's just always on.
It's always recording.
It's always on, always recording. Oh, the things if this mic could talk. Man, Joel went off on Eskimos for like 20 minutes there after stubbing his toe. What was that about?
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere.
What's he saying now? Mayans invented 4G? That can't be right. Someone's got to fact check him. But yes, everyone, believe it or not, we are a comic book show. We have some comic book news. Comic-Con happened this week, Matt. Kind of, sort of, not really.
Yeah, what's going on as we record this, and I've probably watched like one panel. It's been pretty lackluster. And I can understand that because it's a very unprecedented event, you know, the COVID and everything don't really have a lot to show, but still it's very strange.
This has been the weakest Comic-Con maybe in years. I haven't watched anything, not for a lack of trying, but because literally they're doing a very bad job promoting all of these streams.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I caught like the end of like the boys stream. Like I caught the end of that. Mainly because I didn't even know it was happening at the time. Like I just saw like someone post like a clip from it. I'm like, whoa, this is happening right now.
Yeah, man, we can see full well laid bare for everyone, and even people in the chat are agreeing right now. Being a professional streamer and getting stuff done versus being a professional convention staff and getting stuff done, clearly these skills are not like the other. And it gets a lot worse when you realize, hey, Marvel and DC didn't announce anything new. No, they didn't really show up. Individual creators showed up, and we'll talk about some of the stuff they mentioned later on, but by and large, either they had nothing to show, or because of the whole COVID thing, they're like, look, we're not even done our events now. We don't even know what we're going to be doing in a couple months from now.
Well, not even that. In less than a month, we've got DC Fandom, which is, I imagine, where everything's going to be. But is that going to, but then, as well as like, if San Diego Comic-Con is like this, what's that going to be like?
What indeed? I mean, is it mostly going to be movies and television? I don't know. And again, people are talking about Marvel as well. Marvel also has its own thing. Like, when's the next D23?
Oh, probably August sometime, I think.
Right. So again, they all have their own things. Like already, DC and Marvel were kind of moving away from San Diego as San Diego became more of a hotspot for movies and TV, which again, we didn't get much movies and TV either because we can't put movies out and we can't finish TV shows. So
no, yeah.
So there's a lot of nothing going on at this one, unfortunately. And man, I wish they did a better job promoting it. It's like, fuck, man, if they asked you or I to promote it, we would do a better job promoting it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I heard basically no one talking about it.
I mean, Christ, there's been like online Comic-Cons that I've been a part of and have been invited to, some good, some bad, that have done better jobs promoting themselves than friggin' the actual official San Diego Comic-Con did.
Yeah.
That's nuts. So much for everyone will have a chair and everyone will have a seat for nothing, really.
Yeah, really what turned out to be nothing.
And again, none of it is their fault. Oh, the chat is saying in November we'll be getting
okay,
then. That makes sense. Hopefully by then the world will fucking be able to open back up again. Although we'll see, because like it seems all over the goddamn place. We'll have it good for a bit and then there'll be friggin' virus spikes. Toronto had one where Rob Ford, who I hate Rob Ford in like any other climate, but here I kind of have to eat my own hat and admit he's doing a good job. He's basically our Governor Cuomo. And where he came out and said, young people, stop partying, stop going out, you're going to kill us. And I'm like, thank you, Rob.
Well, our government's done that, but we've had one state that's decided to go, no, we'll do what we want, and they had like yesterday they had something like 500 odd new cases.
I just read that because Tom Taylor, who is also Australian, retweeted,
and he lives in that state.
He did, and he's basically like, motherfuckers, I would like to celebrate Halloween this year, please, can you stop?
Yeah.
Man, at what point do you think it's going to be where we're going to have to borrow an idea from comics and we're going to have to do the Salvation run, the virus run, where we just take people from all these states and shoot them to the moon and be like, look, you can be Plague Planet, just go over there. Look, if we can't trust you, this is where you gotta go now. Go to Plague Planet. Or an island, Plague Island.
Yeah, Plague Island, yeah. Use Jeffrey Epstein's island, that's not getting you any use, so...
Exactly, that's not going anywhere. We'll put him there. We'll put it right next to Dana White's Fight Island. It's like, oh, you went too far. You wanted Fight Island, but you're at Plague Island. I didn't want either. I wanted Fire Island. Dun-da-da. So yeah, I guess with that out of the way, we can talk about what actually happened this week, what little there was. And again, we mentioned Tom Taylor, and he had some very big news this week, something that I think we all knew had to happen eventually. We just didn't know in what form it would take. But basically, Taylor is teasing that he's going to be coming back for more Injustice. Yeah,
it was a given. It was a given we'd be getting an Injustice 3, which would probably be announced at DC Fandom.
Yeah, I mean, my thought was like, okay, yeah, we'll get another Injustice whenever there's a new video game to work with. But again, if you remember too, didn't quite line up 100% with what Taylor was writing, because how could it possibly be? Because it's two different teams. They're not going to be slavish to each other in two completely different genres. But yeah, I mean, Injustice has been a huge hit and a huge seller, even amongst people who don't normally read weekly DC comics.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Of course, I'm sure they were just, counting down the days until they could make more of this. And maybe the reason we've seen so many cool Taylor projects from DC was them, like, greasing the wheels and try and butter them up. Like, yeah, you can have a trilogy of zombie stories. Yeah, you can take Suicide Squad in a fun new direction. Just fucking do more Injustice.
Yeah, trying to convince him to come back and do more. Because, like, what do you do? What do you even do now?
I don't know. It seemed like it was all pretty, pretty resolved at the end of that second game.
Well, not even that, just in terms of, like, the comic stuff he did, he filled in, like, everything, like, in between the games, so there's, like, no real room there, unless you somehow squeeze something in which might mess up timelines and stuff. I guess you could probably maybe do, like, maybe they're letting him do the story for number 3 this time or something?
Yeah, possibly. As someone said, Deceased versus Injustice. Oh, that's coming. That will eventually be a thing at some point.
That'll be skins in the game, I guarantee.
Oh, that's fun. You do that, or, again, I don't think... they didn't do a Crisis, did they, in the Injustice universe? Like, literally call this Injustice Crisis, or Crisis of the Unjust?
See, the thing is, with Deceased, they've kind of already got, like, a way into the Injustice universe, because we still don't know what happened to the Flashes. They went to a different universe which was never named.
That's right. One that, looked and felt a little bit like this one, but wasn't. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, what about time travel? They did time travel in Injustice, didn't they?
I mean, it technically was time travel, and I know Flash tried to do it, but it didn't work.
I mean, that could always be an option.
Yeah, I mean, they could do something. I mean, Booster Gold was kind of sort of still around, but he died, so they could probably bring back, like, a younger Booster Gold, like one from the past or something.
Oh, yeah. I would like to see more time travel just so I can get characters like Jonah Hex in there and have it make sense.
Oh, he'd be cool.
Like, literally just reskin Aaron Black and be like, okay, he's Jonah Hex now. That's literally all you need. I don't know, but maybe someone tries to go back in time and, like, kill Superman before he can become Injustice Superman, and so, you got, like, a Terminator thing going on, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know if they'd try and kill Superman. Maybe they'd try and kill, like, Joker.
Right, to stop it from happening.
Yeah.
And so the few heroes who are alive need to go back and stop that from happening, because if you kill Joker, something worse will happen, butterfly effect, that sort of thing.
Yep.
I don't know how that is. That's up to Taylor to figure out. He's the writer, not us. He's getting paid for it. We aren't. I'm sure he'll figure it out. Hey, Injustice 3, a terrible virus. What is it?
An antivirus comes.
Yeah, an antivirus. And it's like, you're not even trying anymore. I know, I'm sorry. All right, now next up from there, from the Marvel side of things, and I guess this was the biggest thing Marvel really talked about this week. Mathew Rosenberg is going to be joining the writing team of Amazing Spider-Man alongside Nick Spencer for a brand new arc starting in Spider-Man 50. It's called Last Remains, I do believe it's called.
Yeah. And this was kind of hinted at the end of the most recent Spider-Man issue 44, when Kindred seemingly is going to be doing something with like Miles and like all the Spider Women and something that. Yeah.
The whole extended Spider-Man family he seems to be gunning for, which is interesting because that kind of seems to go against what Kindred said at first when it's like, no, it's you I'm mad at, Peter Parker. It's not these other people.
Yeah, and like that whole issue just seemed to kind of change up his motives a little bit.
Yeah, did you read the special Sin Eater one shot they did?
I haven't yet, no.
It's really good actually, and it actually has me excited for this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so definitely check that one out because there was 2 Spider-Man books this week. There was the main Amazing Spider-Man, which we'll talk about, and there was the special Sin Eater one shot that was very cool. But yeah, I'm interested in this. It's been a while since we've had a big Spider-Man related to-do, and I like the fact that this isn't the multiversal Spider-Man of like Spider-Verse. This is like, okay, this is the actual main universe Spider people. Who we haven't seen for a bit, and who Peter doesn't really hang out with all that often.
No, they kind of like split up from him for a while now. So yeah, it'll be good to have them all back.
Yeah, and also maybe even just finally explain once and for all what is our relationship, what is our standing, what do we do? Like, heck, I haven't even been reading Spider-Gwen. She's part of the main universe now, right? That's what eventually happened with her. She just jumped ship, and now she just lives in the main universe.
Yeah.
Silk is back too. I'm happy someone remembered Silk. Silk had a lot going for her, but no one cared but me. And they, like even other Spider-Woman, like you got the main Spider-Woman, and then you got like the secondary Spider-Woman no one remembers.
Yeah, no one cares about them.
Yeah. Weren't you Madam Web for a second? I can't remember. Is Madam Web dead? I think she is.
Yeah, technically yes, but technically not because she's still alive and she was Madam Web.
It's a whole fucking thing. Spider-Man's crazy. Also, I like again, I'm a big Mathew Rosenberg fan. I think we both are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in fact, before before they even got Spencer on the book, I even said I think Mathew Rosenberg would be perfect for this because he's got humor, he's got continuity. I think him and Spencer will complement each other quite well.
Yeah. Do you also think that because he's been doing it in like all the stuff he's writing, do you think like maybe he'll do like try and connect it up with like his Punisher run, Force Works, and like how he's been connecting them all up, sort of?
Oh yeah, 100%. We're gonna see connections to that, to his Kingpin book, to his Rocket Raccoon book. There's gonna be references abound, and I can't wait for it. In fact, I hope Rosenberg gets to write Kingpin again in this somehow.
Yeah. So new Spider-Man stuff coming down the pipeline. In fact, it looks like we're going to be getting a lot of Spider-Man because this is Amazing Spider-Man 50.LR, and I think there's going to be like a couple last rites, like special issues sprinkled throughout. Yeah, they're going to milk that. They're going to milk it.
I mean, I'm guessing, this is probably around the same time we were supposed to get Spider-Verse 2, so I don't know.
I guess so, maybe, yeah.
Is this why they're trying to bring all these spider people to the forefront? Because, they don't know who the next breakout star is going to be?
I guess so, yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man Noir is also getting a mini-series around this time, too. So,
well, he's already got it. Issue 2 comes out this week.
That's right. I forgot it already started.
And it's a good book. It's Indiana Jones.
Nice, but with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I can dig it. Now, next up from, 2 more happier stories to one that's it's a bit of a hot button, Matt. It's a bit of a spicy meatball, but I know it's something if we didn't talk about, people would be asking, hey, why didn't you talk about it? It's a story that's been evolving, and in fact, I saw you tweet about it right before we started, and I feel you and I are going to have maybe some different things to say on this one, but there was a Jay Lee Tom King cover controversy this week. For those who remember last week, it was announced that Tom King will be writing a Rorschach miniseries. And this week, because it was solicitation week, we got to look at a bunch of the variant covers, one of which came courtesy from Jay Lee, a guy, with a long-standing career in comics. I'm sure you've seen his work elsewhere. What kind of blew up and kind of became a big deal on comic book Twitter, though, was, hey, Jay Lee, we haven't seen his work in a bit. Hey, wait, didn't he do a cover for Ethan Van Sciver's stupid frog book? Oh no, does Jay Lee suck? I think Jay Lee might suck now and we don't know. And the problem was, no one could actually get in touch with Jay Lee because he doesn't really do Twitter or social media or the internet. He's 48 years old. He's almost as old as my dad.
Well, not only that, he lives in South Korea and English isn't his first language.
Right. So he was hard to reach for all of this. And a lot of people were wondering, is this okay? Is this, I don't know. And Tom King kind of came out of the woodwork on this one. He's like, whoa. If Jay Lee sucks, I didn't know about it. They actually don't okay covers with writers, which is actually not an uncommon thing, believe it or not. Again, this person ultimately ended up sucking, but Cameron Stewart, back during that Batgirl run when they had the really grotesque Joker cover for his Batgirl, that was one of the first times it came up of they don't actually okay these variants with us. No. Is the thing. And he basically washed his hands of the whole thing, Tom King, and he's like, whoa, if this is true, if Jay Lee sucks, if he's affiliated with, a hate group ostensibly, I had nothing to do with it, and just, a lot of covering his own ass, which makes a lot of sense from a creative standpoint. Here's a guy who clearly wants to go to Hollywood and clearly wants to do other things and doesn't need something like this hanging over his head. Eventually, Jay Lee was reached for comment, and eventually, he did, kind of clear things up, and he said, I'm not part of any group. He didn't use the name, which I thought was interesting. He's like, I'm not part of any group. I'm not on social media. I'm not on Twitter. I don't know what's going on. I took the gig for money, etc., etc. And that was basically where it ended. But then it evolved a little bit more today, where Jay Lee is actually now kind of mad at Tom King for bringing this up. Well, I mean, he didn't bring it up in the first place. Other people brought it up and King reacted to it. But he's basically like, hey, you even implying that I'm part of this shitty group means I'm getting phone calls from all over the world and everything and having to field it. And apparently him and his wife were spreading the ashes of their dog the week this happened. And basically it all got really ugly. And Jay Lee basically said yeah, I'm not happy with Tom King and what he's doing. So all in all, a pretty fucked up scenario and situation.
Yeah. And the thing that I didn't very much like about it is that Tom King just kind of waved it off, didn't even apologize properly. Just it's all good. It's all good.
I mean, it's good for me now because my ass is covered.
Yeah, he didn't even and he still has that post up, accusing an Asian artist of being a white supremacist.
I mean, the leader of the Proud Boys is half Korean, and I mean, if we want to look historically, even look at Stargirl, Asian people support the causes of white supremacy all the time because white supremacists hold up Asians as the model minority. But we're not talking about that. That's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I mean, I think we can agree it's nice that Jay Lee he doesn't suck, seemingly. Though I will admit the whole, ignorance is a defense thing. How long can that, work for you, especially when you work in the comic industry and what's going to stop, people from asking you to do this again? In his little article there where he kind of wrote on Instagram, I'm like, okay, so yeah, you're definitely mad that people thought you might have been racist. But you seem more mad at the idea that you might lose future work from racists on this too, and that King put you on blast and revealed that that's a thing you did, which I didn't know he did that because I don't follow stupid frog comics.
Well, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt just because he doesn't live in America. English isn't his first language. He outside of America, Comicsgate isn't a thing. It's even here in Australia, people, I have seen people talk about it, but to the larger comic book community, it's what the fuck is this?
It's because all the ringleaders and grifters are from North America.
And I could understand how who probably only talks with people over email because it's easier,
true.
would just get like an email out of the blue from the frog comic guy.
Yeah, Frogman.
And who's just like, hey, just you want to do my cover and I'll give you this amount of money. And yeah, I could understand him doing it for money and not understanding that he's representing like a fucking hate group. I could understand.
Yeah,
and again, that's really scummy on Ethan Van Sciver's part as well, kind of taking advantage of that.
Of a guy who, he absolutely knew, this guy has name cachet, isn't on Twitter, doesn't know what's going on. I bet I could get him to agree to this. So, yeah, I mean, maybe Lee is a victim on this one. I hope he is. I really, really do. I did not enjoy that little bit of thinking like, does Jay Lee suck now? Because it feels like that happens every day on Twitter and social media. Like, oh, no, does this person I like suck now?
And this whole thing wouldn't have been an issue if Tom King maybe called the guy before accusing him, because it was like an after the fact sort of thing. Is he accused him and then was like, oh, maybe I should get in contact with this guy.
This is definitely one of those hindsight is 2020 situations where it's like King was so quick to cover his own ass from any wrongdoing, which again makes sense because he clearly wants to leave comics and go write for movies and other things. But it's like, look, you should have like bit the bullet for a little bit, taken the heat on you, and then cleared it up with him before making it a big Twitter thing. And I'm sure, again, it feels very much like his his freaking shit was blowing up. And then he's like, okay, I gotta like move the scorn over to someone else. And and Lee didn't really seem to like it. All in all, kind of ugly and hilarious too that it's a fucking Rorschach comic is the hilarious part.
That's what I found like hugely ironic about all of this is a comic about what is literally the first incel.
Yeah, the original incel, friggin' Walter Kovacs. Yeah, wow, you're 100% correct about that. Whoa, hey, we don't want to read a book about our hateful character if it was drawn by someone connected to a hateful group. That's just, I can't enjoy it at that point. But yeah, so fucked up situation, and I'm sure this was amplified like way more too because this comes hot on the heel of the Dynamite news from last week that we ever so briefly talked about, which actually, that diamond thing turned out to be worse than we actually realized.
Oh yeah.
Because someone followed the receipts and they're like, oh no, this isn't a new thing Diamond was doing with these Gator folks. Oh no, the head of Dynamite had actually been dealing with these people since like 2018 and giving them like money and moral support and everything. And it's like, hachi-machi, that's bad.
Yeah. So they're not going to be a company for very long.
No, well, here's the thing. That was the other big piece of news. When that eventually came out, all their biggest writers, all their biggest name cachet writers, basically all up and left. And they have no foot to stand on. And it's like, what are you going to do now? You're not going to be able to get those people back.
But we have Scott Lobdell now.
But we got Scott Lobdell. I mean, surely, they'll get Scott Lobdell and Cameron Stewart and anyone else who got run out of the industry on the rail.
Yeah.
But yeah, holy shit, what a motherfucker. And here's the best thing too. Dynamite, even though we've talked shit about them 2 weeks in a row, they clearly don't listen because I'm still on their fucking mailing list. They sent me more stuff this week and they're like, hey everybody, just go send these early solicits your way and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, Dynamite, do you not know? Oh my god, they're a ghost, they don't know. Look, you can depart this earth. It's fine. I absolve you. It's fine. But there's your weekly dose of actually pretty serious news, everyone. I know we try and keep things light and fun here on the Comic Multiverse, but sometimes you got to address these things, and that was us addressing it. From there, we move on to the next big event news. Coming out of DC. This one's apparently slated for December, and it's called Endless Winter.
Yes, and it's been touted as a Justice League event. They haven't said that it's like a line-wide event, that it's just a Justice League event. Right,
Justice League that's kind of in a weird place right now, because, they got the fill-in writer, what is it there, who is Jurgen, right, it was Jurgens, right, who's writing it?
Simon Spiro.
Right, Spiro, who's writing it now, as a bit of a fill-in. and then it's going to start crossing over with death metal soon, and the next like arc after that is going to be all death metal. And then I guess after that, by the time Christmas rolls around in December, we'll be hitting up endless winter.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what this exactly is, though. I have kind of like a theory. And so Endless Winter is the name of like a fucking D-list villain from like ages ago. And the thing with her is that she had ties to Ultra Humanite.
Oh.
And Ultra Humanite is currently the villain in Batman and Superman.
Yes, indeed he is, and that's
kind
a fun
of
story.
And he's building up like an army and trying to figure out a way to stop Batman and Superman with an army. Maybe it's something to do with that.
I assume because it was December, this is just them doing a seasonal Christmas event. In which case, I wish
it could
they
also
did more
be that,
seasonal
yeah.
events.
I'd like to. We don't know what fucking what's her name Nora Freeze is up to.
That's true. That
do something with her. Do something with Icicle again. Maybe it's like a follow up to Justice League Suicide Squad.
Yeah, bring all the ice villains together like they did in the first episode of Young Justice, and it's like, yeah, they freeze the whole planet, and the Justice League ends up getting snowed in the Watchtower. And it's like snowed in at the House of Mouse. They just watch a bunch of Christmas cartoons. Oh, I like the chat. Yeah, Santa's evil. Santa's finally had enough giving shit away for free, and he freezes
Krampus.
the earth. Krampus. Man, I can't believe Marvel did Krampus first. Krampus actually does exist in the Marvel universe. I am for all of these seasonal ideas. I wish the comic companies did more seasonal things. I want to know what my favorite heroes are doing during Christmas. Yeah, exactly. Christmas crimes. You got it, Jersey Luck. We need more Christmas-themed crimes.
He stole the gingerbread houses.
Oh.
Oh no, Lex Luthor stole the star off the top of the Metropolis Christmas tree.
Motherfucker, we gotta get it back. Joker stole the last Turbo Man. That's all Endless Winter is. They just gotta get that last Turbo Man.
The last Turbo Man for Damian Wayne, yeah.
Damien, you know you're rich, right? Yeah, but even I can't get one, and I'm rich.
But you could just buy the company and get them to make you one. But I want one from the shop.
Yeah, but where's the fun in that?
Bruce doesn't have any money anymore.
Yeah, really? So yeah, there's lots of fun places they could go with that one. Moving on to what ended up being our final story this week, and you might actually have more insight into this than I did, Matt, because you actually watched the stream panel. I did not. The Boys, it turns out they've been renewed for a third season already, and season 2 hasn't even come out yet.
They have. They didn't really give much away on this. They just said like third season's happening. Second season comes out in September?
Yeah, fairly soon. I gotta get that. I have literally had a video on the first season done for like half a year, and I haven't finished it.
Oh, it's the perfect time now.
I guess.
Yeah. So it's come back. I'm kind of excited. They showed us a clip, and I don't want to spoil it for you because it's like it's pretty gnarly, and it's like worse than that dolphin part in the first one. It involves the deep as well, and more marine animals, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, season 1. There's a lot of boys material, ironically, also from Dynamite. There's a lot of boys material that they didn't even really touch on in season 1. If they play it right, they could keep this going for a while, especially because it seems like they kind of, set their own course at the end of season 1. Again, not with, trying to spoil it or anything, but basically they zigged when you thought they were going to zag, and now basically all bets are off.
Yeah. Don't know where the show's going. I did see like the trailers and stuff that kind of gave some stuff away with like Homelander like trying to teach his son about his powers in the most Homelander way possible by him throwing his son off the roof of a building and hoping he would fly.
Well, what is this guy? A freaking Tekken villain? He's gonna throw him off the mountain.
I'd laugh if that like happened and the kid just like dies.
And if you're strong enough, come back and fight me. I guess Amazon is probably super stoked on having their own successful superhero show now to compete with all the other streaming services.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because it feels like there was quite the superhero arms race there for a bit, where every show and every streaming service wanted one.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I forget that I have Amazon sometimes as part of having Prime. I just checked it out the other day, and I sat and I watched like fucking the Billy Bob Thornton Bad News Bears, and I'm like, this is fun.
They just put on mine. They just put all these seasons of the X-Files up, so I've been watching them.
Nice. I saw they have a Hannah, and I'm like, oh yeah, that pretty good movie they made into a TV show.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the TV show. I suppose it's probably good because it's like an Amazon original, and all their originals are really great.
And it's like 3 seasons deep right now, so surely someone is watching it. They also had Knives Out. Knives Out went right there instead of Netflix.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched it, you got to watch The Expanse. Expanse is good.
Is that about space?
Yes, but it's like kind of realistic space with the like Mars and everything, and it's actually really well done.
Right on.
But there's there's aliens and shit in it as well, so that's cool.
That's cool. I like checking out all their different documentaries and shit they have. Like, some are pretty good, and some are like, oh, I can see this was too cheap to go anywhere else, so he threw it up here.
I like finding all that cheap shit on there. There is so much of it as well, which I really like.
It really is. I was going to say, unlike Netflix, I don't think Amazon has, like, the deep, deep pockets of, like, schlocky D-list horror movies.
Oh, no, they do. They absolutely do.
Oh, they do?
Well, yeah, well, some of the stuff I've seen, it's just like, oh... Like, they just send it into Amazon and they'll just put it up. They won't even check it first.
When it's like, hey, this Netflix looks at it and they're like, no, we're too good for this. I think we have a little high standards. All right, off to Amazon you go.
Is exactly it.
Oh, yeah, they have Man in the High Castle, too. I forgot. That was their other big premiere show.
Yeah, I hadn't watched the last 2 seasons.
I guess it's like, how long can you do that premise for? Like, hey...
Well, I know they changed it up heaps, like, in the last couple of seasons, yeah.
Oh, as Jersey Luck reminds me, too, yeah, they're also going to be doing that Lord of the Rings show. Holy shit, yeah, I guess they do have money to burn.
Yeah, which apparently would be the most expensive TV series.
All right.
I'm reserving judgment until I see it.
Yeah, I mean, we got 3 pretty good movies on it, but I guess if you want to do all that shit in the Silmarillion, that they're like, no, we can cut this.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe that's probably what's going to be a lot of the show about the Silmarillion. I'm excited for that. I like the Silmarillion.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff there. It's that deep, deep nerd fantasy shit.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll finally get Tom Bombadil? Do you think that's the reason they did this, just to get Tom Bombadil in there?
It's a Tom Bombadil origin story. It's like gritty, realistic.
He's what is it? He's like that guy from The Walking Dead, where it's like, man, they devoted so many fucking episodes to him. Really?
Who, Negan?
Yeah, Negan. Yeah, they're just like, man, how many?
Who is now like I haven't been paying attention to the show, but like I saw pictures of him like he's like best friends with Daryl now. I'm like, what the fuck are that like? Wasn't there's like whole arcs of he had them on the ground and he was like beating their friends' heads in with fucking baseball bats and like, what the fuck?
I still cannot believe, like, again, because they put up all the trailers, I cannot believe that show has run for 10 seasons. I cannot believe the spin-off show is now 6 seasons in.
They also had another spin-off show, but I think it lasted like an episode because everyone's like, yeah, this is shit. This is too much.
People in the chat are saying Negan is the main character now. Holy fucking shit.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, it makes sense. Didn't he just get his own comic as well?
He did.
Yeah.
Because Kirkman has never been shy about saying, no, I'm in this solely for the money, motherfuckers. There's a great interview out there on Harmontown by the time that was done. It was Dan Harmon, the Rick and Morty guy, interviewing Kirkman, and boy, these guys could not be more polar opposites of each other, where, Harmon's like, no, it needs to be good. It doesn't matter if it takes forever. It doesn't matter if everyone hates me. It'll be good because I'm a perfectionist and everything has to be good and that'll be around when I die. And he's talking to Kirkman. He's like, well, what inspired you to do this? And he's like, I wanted to make some fucking money, and I made lots of money off it.
He did. He really did.
He really did. And Harmon asked in there, it's like, well, does it bother you when they change stuff from your book and everything in the show? Because I know some of it is different. And he's like, nah, not at all, man. I got my books and the checks keep cashing.
Some of it's different. I'm pretty sure it's all different.
Again, by the end of season 1, it's like, oh, okay, you're off base now. How long did I actually stick with Walking Dead? I stuck through the terrible farm season where nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
That was something. Okay, when they got to what is it? The city that looked nice but wasn't nice.
Yeah, the one run by the governor.
Right, the governor, which is about where I checked out in the comic anyway, because I'm like, all right, this is getting really misery porn. I don't think anyone's actually going to come out of this, and I guess they didn't in the show. I just dropped because I'm like, all right, I'm fucking bored with this now.
Yeah, I got a little further than that because they like had them all on like Netflix for a while there, so I like binged all the seasons, and I think I got to like season 7. I'm just trying to remember what the last thing I fucking saw was. I know they had like a town set up, and I got to meet Jesus, who's a character in the show.
That's right.
All those characters, I remember meeting them. I'm just trying to remember if it was like when what's her name left after fucking what's his name died. That Asian guy. What's his name?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Lil Buddy, I remember him.
Yeah, his wife, I think she was just about leaving the show.
Right.
Because she left the show because she got her own show, which lasted, I think, a season.
Oops. Yeah, I was fine dropping that show. Glenn was his name.
That's him.
Glenn. The one that the internet thought was Short Round for some reason, all grown up. Hey, internet, come on. Not all Asian actors look alike. But seriously, though, if they ever cast him as adult Short Round in a new indie movie, that would actually be super fucking dope, and they should do that.
It would be.
Like, seriously, like, he comes back, he steals the hat from fucking Shia LaBeouf and goes, no, I Short Round am Indy's true son. Follow me now.
And then he gets in his cars with the books on the wheels and...
Mm-hmm. And that movie makes $1 billion in the Chinese market because Indiana Jones is Chinese now, everybody. Deal with it. Come on, you can't tell me that's not an easy fucking layup right there. And that wouldn't make all the goddamn money, but... yeah, I stopped Walking Dead and never looked back. I was done with it culturally. But I mean, man, good on you, I guess, for sticking with it, everyone. I guess you're more loyal than me.
Yeah, did you ever see, like, the spin-off?
I watched the first episode of the spin-off, and I'm like, this seems cool, but also seems like every other zombie movie I've ever seen.
What is it even about? Because like I keep seeing like different things where it's like, oh, it's this cast, and then it's like, oh, it's that black guy who was in the first season of Walking Dead is now back in that show, but he's also in the new show, and yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they eventually did with it, but I know the selling point of Fear the Walking Dead was, okay, so like one of the cleverest things Kirkman does is, we don't have to deal with the whole fall of zombie society because Rick is in a coma and wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
Fear the Walking Dead is literally like a prequel to where it's like, okay, but let's actually, hang out with a family while the world falls to pieces with zombies everywhere.
Yeah, because like the episodes I saw, they were on like which I thought was kind of cool. They were on like a boat. And I think, oh, is this going to be like all set on a boat? That'd be really cool, kind of bottle episodes. But yeah, they quickly got rid of that, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess too, because it's a prequel, they can have all sorts of characters come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about Daryl? Is Daryl okay? Is Daryl still in it?
Oh, he's like unkillable. You can't kill Daryl. He will never die until Norman Reedus either asks for a gross amount of money or he just gets bored and wants to go, hang out with Hideo Kojima again or something.
That's right. Yeah, man, he lives an interesting life. Norman Reedus, doesn't he?
Or like he just wants to like go and travel the world on his motorbike, which he has a show about that
on AMC, which I cannot believe that. I'm like, they put
an ad for it in Death Stranding.
I'm like, they're clearly just trying to butter him up, yes, to be like, look, you can have whatever you want. I want to get paid for riding my motorcycle and going to cool places. Cool, that's a show now. Sweet. This job is so fucking easy.
Yeah.
I kept waiting. I'm like, when is Norman Reedus going to be in more movies and stuff? I kept thinking he was going to break through as a big movie star. I guess he's fine just getting paid to ride his motorcycle and play zombie.
The Walking Dead movies that are happening? Question mark?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't know if they're actually going to be happening.
Yeah, I truly wonder, like, what the box.
Because that was the whole thing with Rick. Rick got like shot or something, and he got he got airlifted up into the movies. No, literally, he got on like a helicopter, and was like Poochie went back to his home planet.
Amazing. Amazing. And on that note, everyone, we can talk about what we read this week. Boy, we're full of all the best tangents this week. I read like 6 books this week, and still I barely made a dent in everything that came out. Please tell me next week is going to be lighter.
Yes.
You didn't sound confident.
I wrote down what's coming next week. A shitload of Marvel. I actually have more Marvel next week than I do DC.
Oh, wow.
Which is a change of pace for me.
Yeah, I bet. So where would you like to start with what we read this week, then?
We'll start with Empyre, because that's been coming out on a regular schedule.
Yes, which I was shocked at that. I'm like, really? Issue 2 is out already? Fuck off.
Yeah, and issue 3 is next week.
Wow. Are we actually going to get a full event here without waits in between?
Yeah.
But so yeah, Empyre issue number 2. Kind of a lot of cleanup there. You know, it's the Avengers dealing with Sequoia's, what's the old saying there? Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. And his reasoning is pretty solid. His reasoning is like, fuck you, that's why.
Yeah. I kind of like the Kotadi's reasoning for what they are doing, because there is like a really good reasoning for what they are doing. But they're still like villains because of like, they're like, oh, we're going to get revenge, but we also kind of want to assimilate every living thing in the galaxy.
Yeah, you see all the war and hate and everything. It's just because of all the animal races. If everyone was a cool plant like us, no one would fight anymore. And I love Thor is the most offended because he's had the most adventures with Sequoia over the years. And he's like, you're like a nephew to me, man. You're basically the first baby Avenger who we raised. And it's like, yeah, and you all fucking left me behind to fight your goddamn civil wars and everything. And Swordsman frickin' raised me.
Yeah, Swordsman raised me and put all those weird Joe Rogan, Alex, what's his name? Jones thoughts in my head about weird animal races. And
well, you see, Sequoia, the Avengers are making the frogs gay, and the 5G towers were actually invented by the Skrulls. And he's like, yes, I am, a wayward young man looking for a father figure. This is fine. I really hope Hawkeye comes up at some point. And it's like, really? You let my shitty surrogate father raise him? What the fuck? You saw how I turned out, right?
I was a villain.
Yeah, for a long time. Oh, my God. But, I like, too, where it's like, the Kree Skrull Empire, they're going to be the villains. No, actually, they're going to kind of be the, what is it? They're all got to work together. They all got to put their differences aside.
Yeah, I like how Cap's, I think it was Cap or T'Challa that says it was like the Kree and Skrull are like kind of helping us, but also kind of got to keep an eye on us because they kind of want to blow up Earth. Yeah,
oops. I was really surprised, too, that Al Ewing took extra effort to kind of make Captain Marvel the epicenter of this issue, which she has not been, and I like that he's working with her and that she actually makes a lot of sense and does a lot of cool shit this issue.
She does, but also I kind of felt like I missed a page because she just kind of shows up when they're like, oh, how do we focus this power from the Star Sword, where Reed's trying to sort it out, and she's like, I can do it, and then the next page is just her being like a conduit for this power. I'm like, did I miss something? Is this going to be explained in her book?
We can't waste any time, Matt. We got to get to it. Stab me with the magic sword, and I'll reallocate the power. Thank God it worked. And at the end of it all, she becomes the new accuser, which I'm like, wow, that's a really smart idea. How have they never done that before?
Yeah, I was really glad that she finally got a promotion. It was a long time coming, I think, that she finally got a Kree promotion. Tanaleth also kind of says that it's like you've risen through the ranks of human, the human military, or it's time you rise through the ranks of the Kree military.
Yep, from from Miss to Captain to Accuser. Hey, if they want to give her another costume and a cool hammer, I'm down with that. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pick up her book now to follow that, because her issue that comes out this week follows that.
I feel like that's almost like Ewing challenging himself. Like, okay, so the last several events have shat all over Captain Marvel to the point where almost no one likes her anymore. Well, I got a pretty good track record, so what if I make everyone like Carol again?
Well, he kind of did that as well in that the Avengers first zero issue of this, when Tony's like, I kind of have to agree with Carol now because she's making a lot of sense. This is her realm,
Yeah.
Kind of undoing everything that Bendis did with her in Civil War 2.
Absolutely. So, more on that. You read the tie-ins. I have not had the chance to read any tie-ins, but, kind of lightning around us some tie-ins, because I know you read quite a few this week.
Yeah, we had the Avengers one, which was kind of like a frontlines issue with Cap and T'Challa sort of setting up like a strategy for how they deal with it. They're like, okay, they're invading all these different key places on Earth, the Qatari, so we got to like stop them at these key places, and one of those key places ends up being the Savage Lands. Nice. So literally all of the Avengers heavy magical hitters from like Scarlet Witch, Brother Voodoo, Black Knight, he comes back and he gets a nice little bit of dialogue where he's like, I was fighting like giants and trolls and stuff during War of the Realms, but I kind of want to refocus and be a hero a bit more. I'm like, this is set up for the Eternals.
Yeah, really, man, he doesn't get invited back all that often.
Yeah, so they end up going to the Savage Lands with Kar-Zar, because Kar-Zar's wife and son are there. And
yes, that's right.
yeah, the Qatari have like fully invaded the Savage Lands, and they've actually ended up taking over Man-Thing. Uh-oh. And not only that they have also assimilated Kar-Zar's wife, and she's in control of Man-Thing. She looks exactly like Poison Ivy now. Oh,
that's fun. Also, using Kazar makes sense too, because Zub wrote this, and Zub had Kazar be part of his Black Panther's Agents of Wakanda.
Yeah. They mention the agents as well, because they're working off the helicarrier and all that sort of stuff. We also get like a little bit with Quicksilver and Mockingbird and Wonder Man, how they're sort of caught in between this battle between the Kree and Qatari and Mexico. And they're kind of like, they have to be kind of the referees of the fight a little bit, where they're like, okay, the fight's over, we've got to like take these guys prisoners, and the Kree are like, no, kill all the prisoners because they're evil plant people. And the Kree and Skrull end up turning on them.
Talk about three more characters who only really get to show up as part of big events.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good on them. So was that the only tie-in you had, or did you have some more?
I had two more.
Okay.
The next one was the X-Men side of things.
Right. This one looked interesting. I haven't read this one yet, but I want to.
Lots of payoff for like different things. First, the whole setup of the story is Scarlet Witch trying to undo her No More Mutants thing, and she's like traveling the world. Doctor Strange tells her she can't literally undo something that is a touchstone of her reality, because that would mean undoing herself.
And of the Marvel Universe, really. You can't undo House of M.
Yeah. So she travels the world to try and like make recompense for that, and she ends up making a staff, and she goes to Genosha, where all those like 60 million mutants died.
Right.
And ends up bringing them all back to life, but they're all zombies. So when the Qatari invade, they invade Genosha as like their staging ground for a Wakandan invasion. So they're all getting all set up there, and they find these zombies, and they're zombies, so they can't, easily die. But on top of that, they're mutant zombies. so it's plants versus zombies, basically.
This also, too, probably doesn't help Scarlet Witch try and fix her image, where they're literally calling her the boogeyman of mutant kind on Krakoa. Yeah. No, I'm good, I promise. Oh, fuck, I made zombies.
Yep. Because the Qatari are there was a Krakoan gate on Genosha, and the Qatari sort of like tried to take it over and were strangling it, and Black Tom could feel that because he's like fucking the island or something, I don't know.
Or something, yeah. That's right, I forgot the Qatari have the same portal tech as the mutants do on Krakoa, so they can appear and disappear whenever they want.
Yeah. So he feels that there's something happening on Genosha, so Angel puts together a little team to go and investigate.
Oh yeah, Angel got to do something.
Yeah, they've again more conspiracy stuff with Xavier and stuff this issue. This is kind of like a required reading for Hickman stuff as well.
He wrote this, didn't he?
Yes, he did. So
of course it'll be important.
Because Angel was meant to be looking after X-Corp. And
that's
Xavier,
right, he's a rich trust fund kid. That makes sense.
And Xavier plants magic in X-Corp as sort of like a person to keep an eye on Angel to make sure he's not redundant. Because what he wants to do, he wants to make sure X-Corp is worthy of keeping around, otherwise he'll just dissolve it and keep Angel close to him. Again, he's like shoring up his his well-trusted mutants around him, because remember, there's all these mutants that are starting to sort of question what he's saying, whereas Angel doesn't question what Charles says.
He's also a horseman too, so I imagine he's the sort of person that Apocalypse would probably want on his side too if he could.
Yeah. So he takes a team there with Jamie Madrox and all that, and they try and sort out all the zombies and plant people that are there. But then also horticulture show up, which are the Golden Girls, those old women.
I kept waiting for them to come back. Oh my god, that is the best long game ever.
They show up because they have to do with plants and everything. And they show up and they have to begrudgingly help the X-Men.
That's fucking cool. All right, this jumped to my must-read list.
It's really damn cool, because it's like Hickman paying off all the stuff that he's been building, but then also delving into this whole Katati stuff as well. And it all just works. Fits. It all works, yeah.
I guess we now understand why Ewing was on those like bigger X-Men calls too. Where it's like, oh, you're doing a plant thing? That's funny. I'm doing a plant thing too.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And as the chat brings up, yes, what is it? Zombies versus aliens versus old ladies.
That's actually what the book is called.
Amazing. That's fucking so cool. And also kind of a Rick and Morty thing. And there's old women now.
Yeah, so these tie-ins are all like, I think only 3 issues long.
Right.
I think they're only 3 issues long. The last one I had in was the Lords of Empyre, which is the Emperor Hulkling issue. Next issue is the Sequoia issue.
Right.
So this one,
Swordsman gets one too.
Yeah, this one kind of fills in the gaps of like what made Hulkling want to become the leader,
which is very important.
It's kind of like a tragic love story, because it's written by Chip Zdarsky and Anthony Oliveira, I think his name is.
Yes.
And yeah, it's
I know who you mean.
Hulkling, he's just kind of like, not doing anything. He has a line where like everyone seems to kind of forget about him. Like even Captain America like gets his name wrong. Like no one really cares about him. Well, like Wiccan is off like adventures with like Blade and all these other cool Avengers. He's stuck at home pretending to be on an adventure with Spider-Man, and he like shapeshifts into Spider-Man to take a selfie with himself and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, that's sad.
So he's going to like clubs with his friends and everything, and he gets approached by Raxor and Beldan, the Kree Skrull, and they like kind of tell him, look, you got to come with us because you got to be king of this new empire. And the whole club, everyone in the whole like mutants sort of club they're in is a Skrull who is against him becoming king, because they call him the deviant son.
Oh, that's right, because he's half Kree.
Yeah, and
I'm sure that means because he's half Kree and not because he also just so happens to be gay, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure that's what they meant.
Oh, there's a whole through line of that throughout this. So they end up escaping and everything, and he ends up going to meet him with Tanalath and everything, and we get that part from Incoming where he has to explain what's happening to Wiccan in that hour.
Right, yeah.
So him and Wiccan go and meet with Tanalath. Tanalath is a complete bitch to Billy. Like, I'm not even kidding. He's a complete bitch to him. Like, oh, this is the king's pet jester monkey that he brought with him, and all this sort of stuff. And Billy's equally bitchy back. I really love it. It's really great.
As the chat is saying, and yes, I actually saw Anthony Alvera talking about this on Twitter. He was able to get the word twink into a Marvel comic.
Yeah. But yeah, we kind of learned that Tanalath, and like how we predicted, Tanalath and all the people surrounding Billy are kind of like manipulating him. She sets up a fake sort of attack by Kree purists, who come and like, oh, they're here to kill the king. We gotta like protect Hulkling. We gotta protect him. And it was really just a test to see if Teddy would do the right thing and actually just kill them instead. But instead he wants to like rule with peace, because that's like how he remembers what his mother said about his father. Like, he would always do something good for someone, even if he didn't know them. He'd always try and do the good thing, and he tries to do that that he's trying to offer them peace and everything. Captain Glorious like, no, fucking kill them all, you know, and he won't do that. And they actually end up convince him to completely cut ties with Wiccan, including getting rid of his proposed marriage to him, in order to rule the people. And the only offset is he agrees to rule, but only if he can do it through peace. And they say like, yeah, sure, we'll do that, but obviously that's not going to be the thing. That's not going to be fun. It. Yeah, it's a great issue. Again, it's like a tragic love story.
And I like that he did the wrong thing, but for the right reason.
Yeah, they make a big point of that.
That's really cool. Yeah, well, I'll definitely have to check that one out too. He's getting one, Sequoia's getting one, and Swordsman is getting one, and these all actually sound pretty important.
That's the thing. They're like tie-ins, but they're like, oh, these are like kind of pertinent information in here.
Very much so, for fleshing out the backstory. You would expect that would be a flashback within Empyre, but no, it's a whole comic you got to get.
Yeah, so I'm guessing maybe like most of these tie-ins are actually going to be like required reading.
I mean, if they pared it down from 23 to whatever's left, yeah, I can only assume the ones left behind are the most important ones.
Yeah, well, I think even like that checklist in the back is still wrong, because I couldn't find the Empyre X-Men book anywhere in it, because there's X-Men issue 10, which comes out this week, which again is another tie-in. But there's no Empyre X-Men like how it was in this. Like, I think it might have been further down the list. So again, they're like moving things around.
Huh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank God they have comic book channels like us, Matt, to help everyone keep it straight.
Yeah, and at least it all makes sense as well.
Yeah, true, yeah.
There's like stuff that's not referenced in any of these books that hasn't happened already.
Yeah, that's a good sign. Usually this late into an event, they already start fucking up. Stuff starts contradicting. I guess from the world of Marvel to the world of DC, we had Batman number 95 this week, the big kickoff for Joker War.
Yeah, and it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I liked it too. Tynion has taken the Joker into some very interesting directions. I love that his plot so much that we can see of it is some real like golden age, silver age shit, like I stole your fortune and now I'm going to use it to buy all the movie houses in Gotham, including the one where your parents were killed at.
Yeah, because Joker knows who Batman is.
Yes, he does, and he's ready to play a big old joke on him and take everything away from him. And in fact, the Joker even gets a little meta this issue when he's buying the Monarch Theater. The guy says, oh, young people, they don't care for the old movies anymore. Why would they pay for something they've seen 100 times already? To which the Joker has this whole speech of being like, no, people love watching the same thing over and over again. They love, imparting their own ideas. They love knowing what's going to be said next. The trick is just to peel back the layers and find new complexities at the bottom of it. And I'm like, oh, and this is James Tynion being like, why would you do another Joker event? We've had so many. This is why. Yeah,
and to be fair, like, yeah, he is doing something different with these characters. And something that's not your usual like stuff that you'd see like Scott Snyder or Tom King or someone like that do.
Feels very different.
Absolutely, yeah.
We also get to see this issue. I appreciate that interim Commissioner Bullock isn't stupid, and he's like, no, obviously we know the Joker is behind this. It's just he's using the greatest superpower ever, money, to tie the hands of the mayor and the media and everyone else, so he literally can't act.
Yeah, I do like that. Yeah, and it's not just him as well. It just seems like everyone kind of knows that like the Joker's behind this, but they can't do anything about it because he has the power of money and social media.
Boy, what a freaking modern, topical message. Jeez, a bad man is doing bad things very publicly, but we can't do anything. Why doesn't someone stop the bad man? I don't know. Again, I don't think he meant a political message in there, but still, that's what I gleaned from it. Also, too, we get to see a new costume. A new potential bat suit that Lucius had made. The idea that this would be the bat suit for if, they ever saved Gotham. Oh,
Lucius didn't make it. Alfred did.
That's right. Well, didn't he say he built it on Alfred's designs, or am I remembering that wrong?
No, Lucius thought that Bruce made it because he found the files on the computers, but then Bruce thought that Lucius made it because he found the files in the computers, not realizing that it was like Alfred. Because then that's when Alfred sort of comes into the story with like in his mind.
Yeah. He got drugged, but now he's starting to hear Alfred's voice everywhere. I like its punchline, who does the drugging, and I don't know if this was intentional, but I thought this was clever, where she's like, oh yes, I've drugged you with scarecrow poison, but it's also cut with Joker venom and a little bit of Bane super steroid too. And I'm like, oh, she thinks she's really clever because she did that first. No, she didn't. Actually, they've done that a bunch.
Again, she's like that fan that like thinks they're new. They've got a new idea where really it's been done 100 times before.
In fact, I can point exactly where it was done before. What is it? The broker. What is it? That guy running the crazy, auction house for Batman memorabilia in Snyder's Black Mirror. I'm pretty sure he did that first, where he hit him with like a cocktail of everything.
Yeah. So
that's funny. That's a fun callback and reference. And also the Joker has stolen all of Batman's shit and painted smiles on it.
Yeah, stealing his jets and stuff. That's really cool.
I love that because, again, Arc 1 is all about setting up all these high-tech, new things Batman is using, and then this arc is like, oh, and now they're all going to get turned against you.
Yeah. This is why it's bad.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's cool Joker War, off to a good start. Like you said, it feels different, and I appreciate that it feels different.
Yeah, definitely. And the best thing is, as well, it's short. They'll be done by 100 issues.
Yeah.
And so this is issue 95, so we got like 4 issues left.
And I also like, too, that basically the overall arch of this seems to be Batman did a bad in the Tom King years by pushing everyone away and being an unrelatable dickhead. And now he needs to bring them all back together. And as we've seen, Nightwing is already in the artwork, so I'm guessing he gets him back somehow.
Yeah, I'm not paying attention to what's happening in the Nightwing book at the moment, and I don't really need to, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I literally hope it's something so simple as Batman goes to Bloodhaven. Dick, your name is Dick. Slap.
Yeah, okay. It's something he should have done like a couple of days after. Like, yeah.
Dick, I'm so sorry. I got so into my relationship with Catwoman. That was my bad. I should have been looking after you, Dick, and not this Dick. And he points down. To which at that point Dick just gets his memories back and like, oh, that's so fucking gross, Bruce. All right, let's get me my blue costume and let's go back and fix this.
He cringes his identity back into existence.
That's the Batman I remember, sadly. Hey, how the Titans doing right now since I lost my memory? Oh, Dick, it got really bad, Dick. Roy is dead and Wally's in jail. Nightwing, oh fuck, can I lose my memory again, please? That'd be nice. Now what else do we have after that? Did you have someone else you wanted to take?
Yeah, I had Action Comics issue 1023.
Oh yes, from Batman to Superman. How is the Superman doing?
Pretty damn good. There is some like kind of weird choices for characters this issue, but like this is the issue that like Superman's new status quo on his war on crime is shown, and it's really fucking creative.
Right.
I'll just talk about the weird thing is that for some reason Red Cloud is now like a huge xenophobic dirtbag, like just comes out of fucking nowhere. And I went back and checked on like the previous issues, and it's nowhere in there. But like this issue, like everything she says is like, get the fuck out of Earth, you dirty fucking alien. Go the fuck back to your planet.
Where did that come from? Wow.
Though fucking guy. And she's like hard onto it. Like, it's like, I gotta take care of this alien and his family right now. I'm like, where the fuck did all this come from?
Yeah, wow.
But no, the really cool stuff was when Clark and that realized like what the Invisible Mafia have been up to, and he's like, right, well, I've been too distracted with Leviathan and Lex Luthor and all this other shit. I'm gonna take care of all of this tonight. And he decides to fight the Mafia how they would fight, but instead of doing drive-bys and firebombing their buildings, he gets Brainiac 5 to develop a shrink ray, and he shrinks their businesses and gives them to them so they cannot use them.
Wow. Gee, Superman, it's like you could have done this whenever you wanted to. You just weren't motivated.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. That's what he says in that book. Like, I was too distracted, and they caught me off guard. And during, like, when he was fighting Leviathan and Lex Luthor and all of this other shit, and he didn't have any time to focus on it, and it's his fault. He makes it clear that this is his fault, that this has gone on for so long, and he wants to make it better.
Caught me slipping, but you won't caught me slipping no more.
Yeah, so yeah, him and Connor and John and Lois decide to like go around and just like start shrinking all of these businesses. And it's funny, the business that the invisible mafia are using is called the Black Label Club.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, is that a jab to Black Label?
I'm sure it is. I'm shocked Bendis doesn't have a Black Label book already.
No, it's coming. It's coming, I imagine.
Maybe
Bendis is coming.
Maybe they turned down his pitch. Maybe that's why. They're like, no, Brian, you stick doing these. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're actually enjoying Action Comics. I know it's kind of been an up and down roller coaster.
It has been, yeah.
What else did I have? Ooh, I had the 2 Spider-Man books there, both the Amazing and the special Sin Eater prologue.
Yeah, tell me about them.
Okay, well, I mean, you read Amazing, which is basically one giant nightmare setup, but wait, is it really a nightmare? Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty great.
It's a fun conceit. It's very creative. I like that, once again, Nick Spencer cannot help but bring in some of the characters from Superior Foes. So it's Spider-Man hanging out with Overdrive in his dream, but maybe it's not a dream.
Yeah, maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not. And Overdrive actually being really fucking cool here when he gets in trouble with a bunch of the inner demons because he helped them rob a bank, and then, the Sin Eater comes out of nowhere and starts mowing people down, and he escapes by turning a dollar bill into like a hand glider so he can escape.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, that's really clever. Why don't they do more with Overdrive? He could be like Marvel's Kite Man, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Overdrive, booyah!
Yeah.
Just him running around, and we get a little touch of Inception in this issue too, where it's like, oh, that was a horrible dream. I better call Mary Jane and spill my guts and talk about how much I love her and how much I want to marry her, etc., etc. Only for Kindred to be psych, dream within a dream, motherfucker. I can do that. That's a power I have. He also seeks to imply that, yeah, I'm tired of just fighting you, Spider-Man. I'm going to be going after your family now.
Yeah, that's like the end part with all those spider women and Miles and all that.
Which is weird, because again, that was one of the few things I could say made Kindred interesting, because unlike all the other villains, he straight up said, I am mad at you, Peter Parker, and no one else. Not Spider-Man, I'm mad at you.
It could be a trick. It could always be a trick. This is another dream within a dream within a dream.
You're right. It could be a Kansas City shuffle. It's I just wanted you to think I was going after them, but really it was you.
Yeah.
And the way he's going after them is interesting, and that's going to tie into the whole Sins Rising thing, because it seems like Kindred isn't going after them himself. Kindred has enlisted Stanley Carter, the Sin Eater, to do so, and that is kind of explored further in the special Sin Eater one-shot.
Nice.
It's Stanley Carter basically doing a secret origin of his own life, and Spencer kind of fills in some blanks that wasn't there. We see his childhood. We see his run-in with the original Sin Eater creature that inspired him.
Okay.
And then it really gets creative in the halfway point, because, it's Stanley Carter talking about his life, and it gets to the point where, he's going to put on the green ski mask and go commit his first murder. And, he's telling it to you the way he thinks it happens. But then we see like a true crime documentary on the other page saying how it actually happened.
Okay.
In the 70s. And that keeps happening to the point where he kills the first guy, which he did originally, and then he looks at the TV and he sees the true crime documentary and he takes notice of all this shit that hasn't happened yet. Then he walks out on stage of the true crime documentary and tries to defend himself to the audience.
Oh, jeez.
For all the people he killed. Then you discover, oh wait, this isn't a flashback at all. This is hell.
Oh, so he's in like purgatory.
This is him literally in hell for all the bad stuff he did, but he even goes a step further to be like, no, I killed the Sin Eater, again, back in the 70s. I didn't load his gun, and he got shot by a bunch of cops, and they even go back and show you that Sal Buscema page from the 70s.
Oh, that's cool.
I love it when they do that, to which then, like, the demons or devils who are taunting him, they're like, oh, Stanley, you fucked up, son. You done goofed. We're not punishing you for your sins. We're punishing you for all the sins you ate.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the point of all of this. And, like, basically the idea is that he'd be tortured for, like, 1,000,000 billion years if Kindred didn't save him.
Oh, wow.
Kindred literally pulls him out of hell and says, okay, I saved you. You got to be the Sin Eater again now, and you got to go after the Spider-Man family for me.
Oh, nice.
Or I can just snap my fingers and, you'll be back
go back to hell. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a pretty fucking good motivation, actually.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
I like that a lot, and I'm like, man, never did I think Sin Eater would be such, like, an important character in this run, because everyone knows him from, like, the night Jean DeWolf died, but even then, it's like, he's a silly-looking character. He's got, like, a fucking purple turtleneck and a green
he's like an inverse Baron Zemo in color scheme.
Basically.
It's like if player 2 chose a Baron Zemo in a fighting game, and you're Baron Zemo as well.
Exactly, and it's like, does he have any powers? No, he has a shotgun, and not even a good shotgun, a double-barrel shotgun. But again, as I think they seek to imply in the Amazing Spider-Man book, he's more than that now. He might actually be a demon too, or a ghost or something.
Might have powers, yeah.
He might have powers now, which also too, hey, if you go to the Marvel Wiki, they actually retconned a couple of the other times he came back.
Ooh.
They're like, hey, remember when Carnage fought the Sin Eater, who was, like, even more paranormal in that Axis miniseries? Yeah, that wasn't the real Sin Eater. That was another Sin Eater. And then when Venom fought him, when he seemingly came back as a zombie under Null, no, that wasn't Stanley Carter. That was the third Sin Eater, Michael Easterhorst.
Oh, shit.
So I'm like, okay, that's good, because I was even complaining about that. I'm like, really, Kindred, you're bringing back Stanley Carter? This is like the third time in the last 5 years. Only to be like, no, it's not. My idea was cool and original. They ripped me off. So that was interesting. And again, further strengthens the idea of like, okay, well, who the fuck is Kindred then?
Yeah. I don't know. Especially since now, like, in issue 44, they've, like, kind of changed up how, like, they're going after the Spider-Man family now. It's, like, changed up, like, so then that, like, changes what we think of who they are, and, like, it's going to get revealed soon. It has to.
You would think so. I still don't think it's Jean DeWolf. I think that's way too obvious to make it that. I think that's totally meant to be a red herring, this obsession with the Sin Eater and bringing him back as a big villain. I'm still putting all my money on George Stacy.
Yeah, I could see. Oh, and then there's that whole thing where it's like it could be like a bunch of different people.
Yeah,
like the souls of people or something.
Yeah, we could Murder on the Orient Express it. Because again, everything we know about Kindred so far was someone who died and went to hell to become a demon. So it had to be someone who was bad already, or at least someone who maybe took a life in the line of duty, perhaps. Someone who hates Peter Parker specifically, not even Spider-Man, but Peter Parker, and particularly hates the way he treats Mary Jane and treats the women in his life. So,
Yeah.
Sounds like it could be a jilted lover. Sounds like it could be any of these people. But, we will see. Yeah, I don't think it's Harry Osborn either. I know that was a lot of people's like early one.
That's again a bit too obvious.
It's because we've done the Harry Osborn reveal before. Even if you go a little step further and be like, oh, it's the pre-One More Day Harry Osborn or something like that, I still think that's too obvious, a Harry Osborn reveal.
Yeah.
It's either going to be someone we haven't thought about in 20 years, or it might be someone new.
I don't know how it could happen, and it really probably could. I'm not too familiar with it. But like, what if it was like Ultimate Peter Parker?
I mean, the Ultimate Universe has come back now in the pages of Venom, so that would be a fuck of a thing. Yeah, to be like, I'm the Peter Parker who got to grow and change and grow older and everything.
Yeah, and I see how you're treating these people, and it's wrong.
Yeah, but why would he be in hell, though, that Peter Parker?
Well, a number of reasons you could make up for something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Also, Kingpin knows Kindred's voice is the other thing.
Yeah.
Which, again, Kingpin's been in a lot of stories and a lot of books, so there's lots of ways he could know that. But yeah, whoever Kindred is, Kingpin knows their voice.
Yeah.
It's Virus. That's the thing. He takes off the mask. I'm Virus from the Venom book and takes that mask off.
Yeah, it's the War Machine mask under it.
Yeah, damn it. That's a reveal where it's like, wait, you wore a mask under your mask?
Yes, that's how dedicated I was.
Yeah, I might get chilly, man. You don't know. All right, what else did you have going on? Because that was a twofer.
Yeah, I had 2 more books left. I had Daredevil issue 21.
The start of the new arc. I haven't read this yet, but I'm excited to.
This is a fucking issue. This is oh my god. So this is the end of the whole battle of Hell's Kitchen. Last issue, Daredevil wanted to make himself get arrested because he murdered that kid. And this issue he does get arrested, but no one wants to arrest him because he helped, and like they see him as a hero. And there's a fucking great part where like they're in the squad car, and like because Cole took him in, and Cole didn't want to arrest him first, and this whole time Cole has been after him and wanting to arrest him, and they're like driving in, and Cole's like, I don't want to do this, but Matt convinces him to take him to the police station because of what he did. He needs to make up for the consequences and everything. Right. And obviously Foggy represents Daredevil, and they meet with the district attorney, Ben. I forget his last name. It starts with an H, Hochberg or something.
Yeah, I know the guy.
And Matt reveals his identity to him, and there's a great part where the guy he reveals his identity, and the guy's reaction is just to slap Matt across the face and like berate him because it's like, you worked for me while you were Daredevil. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, sounds about right. That
what tracks. The fuck? It's great. It's so great. The guy's so fucking angry and ends up getting him arrested for murder and everything. And there's even a great Spider-Man bit where Daredevil he's let go, and he's given like a short amount of time to come back, and his plan is to basically go home and change into the Daredevil costume. And he goes home, and Spider-Man is waiting for him because Spider-Man said like if he gets in that costume again, he'll be back for him.
It's true. They're making good on that threat. Yeah.
And there's a great panel where like Spider-Man confronts him. He's like in the shadows. He looks really intimidating, and Matt just starts taking off his pants and like and Daredevil's like, what? And Spider-Man's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? And he's obviously suiting up and everything, and like it just catches Peter off guard so much so that Matt's able to like tell him what he's doing, and Peter's like, okay, I'll let you do it this one time, but if you don't, I'll be back.
I like that.
It's a great fucking issue, and it ends with like him being arrested, and then the next issue implies that Iron Man's getting involved, or Tony Stark is getting involved somehow, because the cover is like an Iron Man helmet with horns.
Man, that book's just been hitting it out the park all the time, right?
It's every issue is just when you think it's like, okay, it can't get any better, it just gets better and better and better.
I mean, yeah, calling it one of the best books on the shelf right now is an understatement, and that's even saying something compared to other Daredevil runs, which have always been consistently some of the best stuff. Yeah,
it's just so good. If you're not reading it, pick it up and just read it. It's Chip Zdarsky, but like unlike Chip Zdarsky has ever been, because you read his books and you think like, oh, he's the funny guy at DC, he's writing all these funny stories. Like nothing in this is funny, or there is funny stuff like Daredevil changing in front of him, but it like catches you off guard so much. It's so good.
Did he win? Did he win an Eisner? I know they gave out Eisners, and I was happy because David F. Walker won for Bitterroot.
I don't know if he did. I know Mariko Tamaki won the Best Writer one, which is well deserved.
That's good. And she's going to be taking on Wonder Woman, so maybe we should all start reading Wonder Woman again.
I'm not too sure because it's with this whole Comic-Con thing, they just kind of announced them, because I know Christian Ward won one, and he like woke up to it and it's like, oh, I won 2 Eisners? What? What? I just like found out.
That's got to be a hell of a feeling, waking up and seeing you won.
Yeah.
I guess I read one more book. It was the one X-Men book I picked up this week, and I read it just because, I loved the first issue so much. That was Hellions #2.
I haven't read this one yet.
It's pretty solid. Again, it's a continuation of what we liked in issue 1, this team of rebels, outsiders, killers, and supervillains put together by Mr. Sinister to do their dirty work. And literally, issue 2 is all about how a team like this couldn't possibly work together. They get in one fight and they get their asses kicked.
Well, good, because they're all like jobbers.
They are, and it's so wonderful too because like literally Zeb Wells takes you step by step about how a team like this is destined to lose, where it's like Nanny isn't built for combat, so Nanny's no good. Orphan Maker spends all his time protecting Nanny. Scalp Hunter won't kill the other members of the Marauders, even if they're zombified and working for the Goblin Queen, because he still sees them as friends. Goblin Queen fucks with Havoc, who's already having PTSD by being forced to go back to the house he grew up in. The only person who even kind of has her shit together is Psylocke, and it's all she can do to not get captured. And then she's like, wait, wasn't there another member of our team? What happened to Wildchild? Wildchild's just been sitting in the background this whole time and being like, oh, you're hurt, Psylocke. That means I can defeat you and become the new alpha of the pack. And she's like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
He's like, that little guy in the back hasn't been doing anything.
And you know it's going to be cool when he does. And that's literally how that goes. It's her being like, wait, why hasn't he done anything? Ah, crap. Well,
curse your sudden and inevitable betrayal.
Word of the week. It's also just, great action, darkly funny, which is I like about it. Just like a lot of really good gallows humor in it. Yeah,
that first issue had a couple of funny scenes, especially like Orphan Maker, how he's literally like a child, like a man baby.
Oh, and Empath dies right away.
Oh, of course.
Scalp Hunter shoots him for fucking with his brain, and he's just like, I don't like that Empath, so he just shoots him dead in the first couple pages. It's very fun. Again, I get very Secret Six vibes off it, and that's what I dig about it.
Nice. Yeah. It definitely felt like a Suicide Squad, Secret Six sort of thing. Yeah.
It's such a clever idea. It's like, how has no one done this before for X-Men?
Yeah. And we're kind of getting like another book like that because X Factor starts this week.
Oh, does it seriously?
Yeah.
God damn, all these fucking X-Men books, and get ready to buy them all for when X of Swords comes out, because you're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Now that being said, I guess X of Swords will be over quicker than you think if.
If they're releasing like 3 books a month, or like even more, like 3 books a week at sometimes.
Yeah, you figure it's got to be over fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Now you said you had one more, Matt.
Yeah, I had Strange Adventures issue 3.
Oh yeah, this other Tom King book that we were talking about. You genuinely really seemed to like this when we started, even though I swore off it. How's the second issue?
The cracks are starting to show. Now I don't know whether it's like it's going to be an actual story plot point, but like this issue was so fucking weird. Because it's split up into 2 parts where it's like every other page is like something that takes place in the past, and it's all Doc Shanna art and bright and colorful, whereas the new stuff's all Mitch Gera's dark art. The Doc Shanna story with Adam fighting in a gladiatorial arena for like the lizard people's help on Ran was really fun. It's the more modern stuff which is really fucking weird. And like I don't know what the fuck's going on, because at the end, last issue was Mr. Terrific sort of setting up like this investigation and trying to sort of work in how he's going to approach it. And we a classic Tom King fashion, we don't see the interview. We get this issue starts when it finishes, and for some reason Alana and Adam are really, really mad at Mr. Terrific, and we don't know why. But it has something to do with him asking questions Adam Strange wanted him to ask, but this issue is all about Adam flatly denying him, saying like, I never asked for any of this, whereas for issue 1 he was asking for this to happen.
Sounds like the sort of thing that drives me fucking insane about Tom King stories.
Yeah, and on top of all this, you have Alana, who is very, very like all of the other Tom King women he writes, very much like his wife. In this, she is like super controlling of Adam and like kind of dictating what he does next and dictating all his moves. And when he tries to talk about his daughter, she makes up an excuse to not do that or anything like that.
Did they meet on the street or did they meet on a boat? I don't know.
Oh no. Yeah, and there's like talk of her trying to like sue the Justice League for what they're doing in an investigation that Adam wanted them to set up. She does this whole thing where she frames Batman because the whole thing is like the Justice League sanctioned this investigation and they're staying out of it, because they all know Adam. Like, it's not like the conflict of interest sort of thing, so that's why Mr. Terrific is involved. And she set it up so that Batman would come to her, and she got someone to take photos of the incident, and then she sent them into like the news stations. It was like, Batman's involved in the investigation. You know, this isn't like, and he wants it to be unpeded by anyone and everything, and it's just so strange that like this is all happening, and Adam is just like
strange is right.
Yeah, Adam is just sitting there like, I didn't want any of this to happen. Why are they answering all these questions? But in the first issue, you said for this to happen. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Sounds like the polish came off that one fairly quick.
Yeah, and I said in my review, it's either going to be something like Alana's like manipulating him, like with memory sort of thing, like making him forget things, or this is just classic Tom King. I don't know what I'm writing. I'm just going to write a miserable white man again.
I got bored halfway through, can you tell?
Not even halfway through, 3 issues of 12.
Oh, Jesus, it's 12.
Yeah.
Why did I think it was 6? Oops.
Oh, I wish it was 6. But I'm going to stick with it because, again, it could just be one of those things where it's like, oh, it all makes sense like once a key piece of information comes out or something.
Right.
But like right now, it's just a complete fucking mess.
Uh-oh. Well, I hope it gets better for you, and I hope you can recommend it later.
Yeah.
I guess we're at the hour 30 mark already, so we've been talking for a good long time now.
Yeah.
I guess we can start winding the show down again. Thank you, everyone, for coming out and joining us live. Also, be sure to tune in next week, assumedly same time, same place, unless something changes, for the big 200th episode spectacular, where hopefully we're going to have a nice little video there. Maybe we'll do a Q&A portion of the show. We can reminisce about some of our favorite times.
Yeah, hopefully get a cameo from some B-list celebrity.
Yeah, really. Yeah, get someone good. Yeah, what about Danny Bonaducci? What he's doing these days?
Yeah. Hopefully there'll be also some more news from Comic-Con, because Comic-Con will be over by then. But I don't know if there will be.
Yeah, hopefully we can have a better conversation. I know I was thinking about bringing on some guests to talk about Comic-Con, and then it's like, there was really nothing to talk about.
Yeah, I didn't see anyone that like we usually talk with talking about Comic-Con, except for like the boys. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's about it. Oops. Well, if there is no news next week, that would even be better, too, because, again, we would just dedicate the whole first half of the show to just, patting ourselves on the back for 200 episodes for a job well done. I actually had someone say, like, oh, you should do, like a comparison to the first episode to the 200th episode to show how much time has passed. And I'm like, oh, we didn't have video for the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
So we couldn't do that. It wouldn't make the sense. Also, we've changed sets then. I think the show's never looked better than it does now.
No, it definitely looks good.
It sure does. I'm proud of how far we've come, and I'm proud of all of you, all 22 of you who stuck around and watched. So again, thank you all so much for doing so, and we'll be back again next week for the big 200th episode. So get ready for that, everybody.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye-bye.